Hi folks, we're going to take a look at number 16 from page 419. So here they're asking us to use an equilateral triangle and the cosine law to prove that cos 60 is equal to 1/2. All right. So the idea here is we're going to try not to use our calculator because obviously we can just stick this into the calculator to show that that's true. But we're going to try to use the cosine law to do that. So let's start with an equilateral triangle. Okay, so that means all three sides are the same. And then of course, all three angles are the same. Okay, so if I call all these sides A, okay, and I also know that the three angles are the same, so 180 divided by 3 is equal to 60. So any of these angles is 60 degrees. All right, and so I'm going to use this setup here now to apply the cosine law. Okay, so I'll start with the opposite side to the angle. So we have a squared is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. But in this case here, those other two sides are also both just a. So a squared plus a squared minus 2 times the product of those two sides. So a times a. All right, times cosine of my angle opposite to that side, which we chose to be 60 degrees. Okay. So at first look, you might sort of think, well, how am I supposed to show that this is equal to half when I have these variables around? Okay, so maybe we don't know where this is going yet. So let's just perform the algebra. So I'm trying to figure out what cosine of 60 degrees is, so it makes sense to isolate cosine of 60 degrees in this equation. All right, so just to make my life a little easier, doesn't make a big difference. I'm just going to take this whole expression here, bring it to the left-hand side, make it positive. So we have 2 times, so that's going to be a squared cos 60. And so here we have 2a squared, okay, minus, I'll bring that a squared to the right-hand side, minus a squared. All right, and so now let's isolate cosine of 60 degrees. Okay, so here on the right-hand side, we're left with 2a squared minus a squared, which is just a squared, divided by this coefficient here, 2a squared. And here we see why this ends up working, because we can reduce a squared over a squared is just equal to 1. So this shows that cosine of 60 is just equal to 1/2. Okay, without needing to use our calculator. So let's just recap here. So step number 1 was to just take the hints that they gave us. So hint 1, use an equilateral triangle, and hint 2 is apply the cosine law to that. And then from there was just a matter of doing the algebra and realizing that what we wanted to do was isolate this cos 60 and see what we came out to. So in this case here, it also shows that this process works regardless of what the size of my triangle is going to be. Okay, that's it for this one.